Good evening, peeps. I'm Auriel Grace, and this is a spiritual show. So, tonight we're talking about intentional living. I know I've talked about it a lot in past videos, but I wanted to come from it, talk about it from a different place or a different angle tonight to help you with and living your best life, right? Because all of us want to live our best life. And in order to do that, there are some things that steps that we need to take. And when you put it all together, because a lot of people are like, well, I said these intentions, I created this page of them, I say them every day, and that why aren't things working out? So we're going to talk about like how you can set up the foundation tonight so they can work out. And sometimes we just have to be patient. So that's it. I know it sounds crazy, but living intentionally, it's a whole lifestyle. It's a life choice. It's everything. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. But first, Um, I have a newsletter, a monthly newsletter. If you'd like to sign up for it, you can go to my website at aurielgrace.net, and it's on the first page. Sign up for the monthly newsletter. It usually goes out the first part of the month, somewhere around there. Last part, first part, however it ends up on the weekend. Okay. And this week, right now, tonight, you can hop, skip, and jump over to Amazon because this series is on sale right now. It's the Diva Chronicles, and you can go check that out on Amazon. It's the Kindle version that's on sale. I think it's $1.98 for all three books, which is a total deal. And also Audible books. So you can check them out on Audible as well. All right. This book, Goddess Girls, is a Kindle book, and it will be free starting this Thursday, until next Monday. So you can check that out on Amazon as well. It is only a Kindle book, and it is part of the Lucy Prophet series. So check it out. Hop, skim, and jump over to Amazon. Okay. All right. So we're going to there we go. All right, I'm going to come over here. Hey, Mom. All right. So last week we did our love and ascension video, and tonight you're going to hear me repeat some things that I spoke about during the love and ascension video, and it's all about intentional. They kind of go together. Uh, Ascension is a lifestyle, it's a way of being. And so some of that information that I spoke about last week, we're going to be talking about it again this week, but in a kind of like a different angle. So um this year I've decided that I'm going to start talking about some of the new age concepts and words and different things, you know, I'm going to talk about like where they came from, right? And why, like, why people are so into them or why people want to share them and why they inspire them. And we're going to be like, talking about some things that mm, are fictional. And that's okay. I was inspired by my friend Anissa because, she had some questions and I was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to talk about that because if Anissa is interested in it, then I know others will be. So that way you can actually understand where the concepts come from, why they work and don't work, and like is this a real thing or is it are they full of baloney kind of thing? So check that check out each one because next week we're going to be talking about angel numbers and numerology and where angel numbers came from. Like how why does everybody think they're cool? It's a pretty interesting story. So um that's what we're doing next week. This week we're talking about intentional living. And I know I've talked about intention and gratitude a lot. Um, and it is a way of being. It's a choice. And all of us live our lives intentionally. There's some part of our life that is very intentional. And so because we are individuals, not everyone is gonna agree with that intention, right? Not everyone may like our life, and that's okay. They have their own intentional life to choose, right? So remember that as we move forward. And as you're starting to really pay attention to your life and create intentions and live intentionally, you'll find that you're more comfortable in your own skin, which is great, right? Hey, Iris, happy Women's Day. You're right. We got to celebrate us, women. We have to celebrate us because we're still working on being equal, right? Okay. So we're all individuals, right? And we're on this life's journey and it's fun mostly, right? We're out there, we're doing our thing. Um and we're all individuals. We all have our own opinions. All have our way of looking at things, which is really cool because if all of us were the same, how boring would this planet be? Boring. So it's up to us to decide how we present to ourselves and the world and how that aligns with our souls, right? We're talking about aligning with our souls. A lot of people are really unhappy because um, they're living the lives of their parents or they're living the lives of their family because they don't know how to break free of it. And that's okay. That's okay. Iris, where is your picture at? You need to put a new picture up. You're such a cutie. You're so pretty. So, because people, they're living their parents' life or they're living the life that people wanted them to live, they're not living intentionally. They're living outside of that intention. And so, what tonight, these are the handy tips that you can use to live intentionally. So, creating habits, daily habits, is a great way to start. Start small because if you go full on, you might overwhelm yourself with living intentionally. Um, so start small, start in the morning, start saying intentions, start writing them down, writing down what you're grateful for, writing down what you want to do for the day. I always make a list like, what am I doing today? And make my little list of things that I'm doing. It's one of my things that I do to like stay focused. All right. So, and one of the things that you can do, for example, is you can connect to your heart chakra, breathe light into your heart chakra. Because when you breathe light into your heart chakra, what happens? You get that energy of love flowing through you and then all around you, and it helps you to be present, right? So you could do that every day. It doesn't take very long. A lot of people are like, oh, it takes too long. It doesn't take very long. And you can do it. So, because, we're all rushing about doing our thing. Well, not me, but other people are, right? So we're looking at a place. I want you to get really present right now and really look at your life. What do you do intentionally every day? Is your life intentional? What is your goal? How can you achieve that? What do you want your life to look like? These are questions to ask yourself. Like, what do you want? What do you really want? Do you want to, like, um, be a person that drives around in a van and does reviews for campsites? Do you want to be like the best server um, on the planet? Do you want to like be a pilot? What do you want? What resonates with your soul? Might take you a while to figure it out, because there's so many choices now. You may choose to do different things, and that's okay. You don't have to have the same career for your whole life. That's just something that we're taught. So, intentional living is deliberate. Okay, so it's a deliberate, conscious practice of aligning daily activities or actions, decisions, and habits with your core values and long-term goals. That's it. It moves you from reacting to circumstances to proactively designing a meaningful life, often involving simplifying, setting boundaries, focusing, um, practice, discipline. That's intentional living in a nutshell. All right. So, what does that mean? It's all about being aware of your personal values, how you value yourself, your beliefs, what brings fulfillment to your life, what fulfills you, you know. Re- Reflect on that. Like what makes you happy? So, learn to say no because boundaries, right? What are boundaries? They are an act of self-love. And we all love ourselves, right? So we all love ourselves. We all have to set up boundaries and not feel bad about it because we love ourselves. So figuring out and making decisions based on your purpose rather than just reacting to situations or following others' expectations. Remember, expectations, what do they do? When you expect something, it brings disappointment, right? And so let go of your expectations and let others do that too. Just say, hey, don't expect anything. Because guess what? What's going to happen? Make a plan and instead just show people who you are, right? All right. So being okay with who others are in their own intentional journey. Because your friend or your sister or your brother or whoever is not going to have the same insight as you do. Again, we're all individuals. And remember to nurture all of the connections in your life, even if those connections, are you're just passing through. Nurturing them just means being present, being aware, and nurture yourself. Be present with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Okay. Because sometimes that's the hardest thing to do is to be honest with yourself, right? So many people fret over what other people think. So when you start working on living intentionally, and you're going to be worried about what other people think. It doesn't really matter what they think, honestly. Um, it matters how you feel and think, and how you value yourself, and how much space you take up. Right? Like you don't want to be a mouse hiding. You actually want to just be you. You don't want to be like this all the time. And if you find that you have to be like this all the time, it's time to really look at like the people that are surrounding you. Take up some space. Be you. And what I mean by that is just be yourself. Whether you like wearing cat ears or not. It's okay if you don't like cat ears. I'm fine with that. I like cat ears though. I hope you understand what I'm saying about this because when when we start to live intentionally, it's kind of like ascension. we we start to see that some people will fade from our lives and new people will come in, or there may be times when we just feel we are just alone, and that's okay too, because there are times in our lives when we really need to just sit back and really be alone with ourselves, reevaluate our lives, and it's okay to be alone is a good place to be. Loneliness is not. Alone is. Alone can help us refresh and uh, invigorate. It can help us take better look at our lives. So alone is good. It is. So, um, so like when you're thinking about what other people think, it takes up space and it takes up energy, and you're not focused on yourself. And so you're not being clear either. You're just making up stories about, like, oh my God, what do they think? Oh, you're not being present. All right. So when you're present and you're clear, your intuition is awesome because you're clear, right? Your mind is clear. So when your mind's clear and your soul is rested, your intuition works better. Stop worrying about what other people think. It takes up too much space and time. All right. So, and that's called decluttering your time and your energy and your physical space so that you can focus on matters that serve you, that matter most to you, right? So what matters most to you? That is the question to ask yourself. What matters most to you? Is it going on vacations? Like, is it um is it going to the museum? Is it going on long drives? Is it looking at flowers? What matters most to you? Mm. So, um, here's another big thing too is audit how you spend your time and money so that they reflect your values. Okay, so money is always a big question when I do readings. Where am I going to make more money? Okay, this time, in this time, there are so many ways to make money. There are there are so many different ways to make money. And all you have to do is go online, go on Google and say, I how many side hustles are there in the world? A trillion. So there are a lot of side hustles that you can just set up and let them go, and they do their thing. And you can do, if you're in sales, if you're selling products or whatever, take a little marketing course so that you can figure out how to market your products and let them go. Let let them make money for you. All right. If you are like, I have a client who is a single mom, and she's a beautician. She keeps her beauty license up and everything. And she is a single mom. So because she's a single mom, she wanted to make sure that she would be home for her little girl. Actually, little girl is really big now. But when her little girl was small, she decided, okay, I got to figure out a way so that I can stay home with my child. So she was a beautician and she started doing eyelashes at home, like eyelash extensions. And they're very expensive, right? So she still does eyelash extension. I think her daughter is like 13 now. She still does extensions. She makes more money doing eyelash extensions than anything. She was able to buy her home through doing eyelash extensions. She and her daughter go on vacations all the time, and that was her intention. Her intention was be able to spend time with her child, to create enough money for her. And even during COVID, she made money doing eyelash extensions because COVID was around, people still wanted those long eyelashes. And some of them can get kind of, really long. So, and that's what she does, eyelash extensions. And her intention for her life is to be able to spend time with her daughter, to for them to be able to have adventures and to have a nice space to live in. that is intentional living. That is a great and that is a great example of it. It doesn't have to, you don't have to become a Buddhist monk to live intentionally. So I want to make that clear because a lot of people think that intentional living is very spiritual, and it is very spiritual. It is being able to tap into your soul, your heart, and really live in a good way, truthfully to yourself. So that's why I say, like, when we think about money, money is something that is energy. If we think of it as energy, how are we going to create that energy? There's so many ways to do that. So, and I recently have been talking to people about money a lot and giving them ideas on how they can save money, how they can do it in a way that doesn't make them nervous. One of the ways is go to your bank and talk to the people at the bank. They have all kinds of different things that you can do to create money, and it's at the bank. You don't have to buy big stocks or anything like that. Go to the bank and see what their interest rates are and see how you can do that. Go talk to your banker. That's one of the easiest things that you can do. Make a plan with the banker. They know about money, because they run the bank. All right. So remember, if you're going to pursue a career, if you are in a career right now that you do not like, create a transition plan into the career that you do like or that you want. So you may have to stay in this career for a while until you can get over to that one. That way, you're not stressing about not being enough. Instead, you're flowing. Okay, so you might have to work extra hours or whatever because you're transitioning over. But if that is your intention and that is going to help your life, then do it. Put some energy into it. Okay, because why not? Just like my client did. She went from working at a beauty salon. She was like working 60 hours a week at the beauty salon. But when she was ready to have her little person, like by the time that she had her daughter was 3 months old, she had enough clients to support herself. By the time her daughter was a year old, she had clients booked up a month ahead of time. So now she's got clients booked up 6 months ahead of time. But she lives in Cali, so everybody out there, I guess, likes long eyelashes. I don't know. Anyway, she does. And that's kind of cool, huh? Can you imagine? Like you have to wait 6 months to get your eyelashes done by the cool eyelash lady. That's awesome. But what it did for her was it helped her. It really did help her build up so that she has this life that she created. And the reason why I'm using her as an example is because we all have a certain thing that we want to create. We all want to live intentionally. A lot of people right now are really looking at being sustainable. And that is so good. I encourage everybody to do that. I I lived off the grid in Colorado for about I think 18 months or so, and it really did teach me to appreciate running water and electricity. It did. So now, like, I'm pretty good about my electricity and my running water. Even though I live in a little apartment, I'm still grateful for that. So the thing is that if you want a sustainable lifestyle, it could mean so many things. It doesn't have to mean that you're living off the grid. A lot of people want to live in tiny houses right now. And those tiny houses are just as cute as they could be. And a lot of them are pretty solid. I encourage you to check it out. Go spend like a week in a tiny house and see if you can, see if you can do it. Some people think they can, and then they get in the tiny house and like, oh my God. So look at it. It is a choice and it's a lifestyle. It is a different way of living. And so a lot of people too are like going, okay, yeah, we don't really need this, that, and the other. We can get rid of those things and simplify our lives. And I encourage that as well. And then there are some people like me who I love crystals, I love beads, I love that kind of stuff. So I have intentionally been staying away from shows. That's my intention right now. Although I don't think you can ever have enough of it. However, everyone has their their way of being, and living intentionally just means that you've made a choice in your lifestyle, in your life, and you're sticking to it. And you've made these decisions to be present in your life, because living intentionally means that you're present. It does. And so, and it's a great practice. So make some decisions this year. This is a 1 year. It's a new beginning year, and it's the fire horse year. So I do love cat ears. um, it is the fire horse year. So this is a really powerful year to really like dig down, dig deep, and see like how you want to live your life and start making that happen, whatever that looks like. Because remember, part of metaphysical and spiritual ways of being is allowing people to be who they are. That's a huge thing, is to allow people to be who they are, whatever that may be, and supporting them in it and seeing the value in it and seeing the value within yourself. Because when you value yourself, you are living your dream. It's all part of it, it's all connected. And so, hopefully, just by talking about this tonight and giving the example of my client who is the eyelash lady, um, you start to see that living intentionally isn't just like being ultra spiritual. I With ultra spiritual people, I usually have to just like step back and just look at them, because I don't like I don't like overbearing people. And so I always step back and, hey, you got to do you, right? And that's it, because I don't feel like I need to convince anybody of anything. I just need to put the information out there so that you can make a choice, right? I know you can, because you got a brain and you got a heart. There you go. All right. So, building habits. Okay. So, building habits, morning reflections, evening reflections, praying, however, whatever habits that you want to create for yourself, start doing it. Make a habit of it. Like the love mantra, breathing light into your heart chakra, um, taking a walk, going out into your garden. Those are all really good things to do to ground yourself so that you feel good. Do things that help you feel good on purpose. Okay, so purposefully choosing how to care for your body, mind, and spirit. Everybody does it differently, right? So you need to choose what that looks like for you. Okay, regularly evaluating your life and make small daily adjustments. Stay aligned with your goals. Remember, life flows, so you should too flow. Be flexible as you grow and as you set your goals in your lifestyle that you're choosing. And it's okay to back out of a lifestyle if it doesn't work for you. Like, go check out a different lifestyle, right? You know, Figure out who you are and what you're comfortable with. All right. Remember to stop and smell the roses. Remember to slow down, be present in your daily activities. Really make sure that what you're doing is intentional, right? Because you're doing this with intention. So make sure this is actually what you want. And intention, as I said before, can be applied to all areas of your life, not just like your career or your personal life or um, your hobbies, but it can be applied to all of your life. And you don't just say intentions for like you don't stop saying intentions or you don't start feeling that energy when you've achieved a goal. It's the intentions just change, right? They change. And as you grow into your life. So as we set up our intentions, remember to flow, just like I said, don't get hung up on setbacks. Instead, take a breath and be okay with that. Be okay with the setbacks because something else may be there that you're missing. You don't want to miss anything. So don't get hung up on them. Be real. I know in movies last 90 minutes, and I know there's so many things that happen in movies, and they're inspirational and everything, but remember, you're not a movie, you're a person. So sometimes, person things happen in real life. In movies, everything usually comes out okay. And in our lives, things can come out okay. They might be different from what we thought they would, and that's okay. You're still living intentionally. You're still doing your thing, right? Yep. Yeah, that's right, Ma. All right. So I just wanted to talk about living intentionally from this point of view because I think I think a lot of people really get confused about it. They have setbacks because of it. And 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 then they're hard on themselves because things don't come to pass that they truly want and desire. So the thing is to really look at, is this what I truly want? Is this how I want my life to be? Or is it different? Is it this right here? Maybe you just have to shift over a little bit for your life to resonate with you and then go with that. Don't be harsh. Don't be harsh on yourself. Truly live your life. And so remember, if you're talking about intentions and you're saying intentions, remember to really mean it when you say it. Don't just go because if there's no energy behind it, because you're creating something, right? When you're saying intentions, you're creating something. So you have to mean it. Take your time when you say your intentions. Really mean it and be grateful. It all goes together. All right. Because I'm grateful for you. All right. So that's it. That's all I have to say. I was gonna try and like make it longer, but I'm like, "Oh, I think I'm just gonna be straight to the point because next week we're talking about angel numbers, where they come from, why they're so fancy, and numerology. Hmm. It's gonna be a fun show. Okay, so please stay safe. Have a beautiful week. And remember, keep your heart open and align with the energy of love. And I'll see you next time. Bye.